This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Whether you're packing for a vacation or dressing for a wedding, Nordstrom has head-to-toe looks for wherever summer takes you. From swimwear and bold color to romantic florals and dresses that make an entrance, find the right style for every unforgettable moment. Shop new arrivals from brands you love like Farm Rio, Free People, Vince, Wait, and Stod. Plus free shipping and returns and styling help whenever you need it make it all so easy. Shop now in stores at Nordstrom.com or download the Nordstrom app.
Girl, winter is so last season. And now spring's got you looking at pictures of tank tops with hungry eyes. Your algorithm is feeding you cutoffs. You're thirsty for the sun on your shoulders. That perfect hang on the patio sundress. Those sandals you can wear all day and all night. And you've had enough of shopping from your couch. Done hoping it looks anything like the picture when you tear open that envelope? It's time for a little in-person spring treat. It's time for a trip to Ross. Work your magic.
The following program does not offer personal medical advice. Please consult your doctor before using any treatment or product we cover. Welcome to Go to Health Media with your host, Jonathan Marks. We provide a welcoming environment where experts educate you on important health topics, answer your questions, and provide information from which you can benefit in consultation with your doctor. You can visit and subscribe to the show at gotohealthmedia.com. And now, hey all, Jonathan from Go to Health. Let me ask, how do you sustain your energy throughout the day? I try to do it with the morning cup of coffee and then one in the afternoon as a pick-me-up, and of course my daily vitamins. But what if I told you I was trying something new that's working for me just great? It provides me with sustained energy and focus, with caffeine for alertness but balanced by amino acids and taurine to prevent jitters or crashes. It also has a blend of B vitamins, L-carnitine, and choline to power my energy and mental clarity even if I didn't get the best night's sleep. It's also packed with vitamins A, C, and E to support my immune health, even with my days of packed schedules. And it's sugar-free and what I'll call flavor-forward. I alternate between 3 delicious flavors: mandarin orange, mango strawberry, and fruit punch. Just 1 small scoop of mix in 8 ounces of water and I'm done. Boom, off to the races. This formula boasts 32 years of brand expertise and thousands of 5-star reviews from millions of users. And it's a woman-owned company. What's this product I'm yakking about? It's called Spark Energy Plus Focus from Advocare. Spark Energy Plus Focus. For Go to Health listeners, I've scored 30% off and free shipping. Go to drinkspark.com and use code GOTOHEALTH at checkout. That's code GOTOHEALTH at drinkspark.com. Let's tackle the day together with Spark Energy Plus Focus. Here is Jonathan Marks. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Jonathan Marks with Go to Health. We have a difficult story today, but we're going to get through it, and there's some wonderful news at the end here. It's a parent's worst nightmare, losing your child so quickly to a disease for which there's no vaccine. Alicia Stillman lost her 19-year-old daughter, Emily, to meningitis in 2013, back when there was no approved vaccine for meningitis B. Patti Wukovits also lost her daughter in 2012. Kimberly was a 17-year-old high school senior just a week shy of graduation when she also died from meningitis B. Stillman and Wukovits transformed their grief, thankfully, into action, sharing their daughters' stories and advocating for recommended vaccines, including newly available vaccines that help protect against all 5 types of meningococcal bacteria most likely to cause meningitis. They are now co-executive directors of the American Society for Meningitis Prevention. With us to talk about this today is Alicia Stillman, co-executive director of the Society and director of the Emily Stillman Foundation. Over the past decade, she's worked to empower communities to take action to prevent meningococcal meningitis through education, policy, and vaccine equity initiatives, and by mobilizing a national network of advocates. She currently serves in the World Health Organization's task force to defeat meningitis by 2030. And in addition to her advocacy work, Alicia is the chief executive officer of a multi-state law firm based in Michigan. We also have Dr. Mary Koslep-Petracco, a member of the Medical Council of the American Society for Meningitis Prevention. She is also a clinical assistant professor at Stony Brook University School of Nursing in Stony Brook, New York, and a primary care provider in her own private practice. She's nationally known expert in immunization practice and has been an advisor for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and served on the National Vaccine Advisory Committee. Welcome to the show, Mary and Alicia. How are you today?
Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for having us today.
So glad to have you
It's a
both.
pleasure to be here, Jonathan. Thank you.
Good. So, Mary, if you can tell us, what is meningitis? How does it come on, and who's most at risk, if we know?
Well, as a pediatric nurse practitioner, this is a really important topic for me to always discuss with my patients and their families. Meningitis is a severe, devastating bacterial infection of the coverings of the brain. We call them meninges, but they're the tissues that cover the outside of the brain and the spinal cord. And these bacteria get into this space and cause debilitating effects afterwards if you survive. It's a very fast-moving illness. It starts out with these vague symptoms like so many other illnesses, maybe a slight fever, a headache, just a general feeling of not well, maybe a little muscle aches, but it progresses extremely rapidly to severe symptoms of loss of consciousness, development of like a purplish rash that usually starts at the ankles and moves up, and it's because these toxins from the bacteria get into the blood and cause this, what we call petechiae, or these little purplish rashes all over the body. It affects every single organ in the body. It causes multi-system organ failure. And if you survive, very often the survivors lose arms, legs. The skin almost looks like it's been burned because the toxin has gotten into the skin, so parts of the skin have to be removed. It can cause mental confusion, blindness, deafness, and unfortunately, too many people die from this devastating illness. And the only way to prevent it is through vaccination, and vaccination against all 5 serotypes: A, B, C, W, and Y. We have really effective vaccines these days to protect our most vulnerable. And the most vulnerable is because of their behaviors. Unfortunately, it's our adolescents who have these vulnerable behaviors because they put everything in their mouths like our babies did, and adolescents do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And so if you have the vaccine, a parent doesn't have to be worried about a slight fever or a rash. That, what you described sounds very scary as a parent. If somebody's, one of your kids starts developing a fever or rash or, slight headache, could this be, meningococcal bacteria?
Well, no vaccine is 100% perfect. Actually, as providers, when we know that children have been vaccinated, that kind of like moves those serious illnesses like meningitis down that list of potential diagnoses. The rash is a very different kind of rash. It's a rash most rashes are pink or a little scaly or something like this. This is purple. It looks almost like bruising. But what I usually tell parents is keep an eye on your children. Don't just say, oh, it's just a headache, or it's just maybe they just don't feel that well today. Because the problem with this illness is it progresses very rapidly. So if they have a fever and maybe a headache, check on them. Don't just give them, a fever relief reducer and send them off to bed and not check on them until the next morning. Go in and look at them. See if they're any better. See if they're any worse. See if there's any changes. Because like I said, this comes on very rapidly. So if you see the child just, well, I'm not feeling too well, and like an hour later, you go and check on them and they look terrible, that's the time to really just get them out, get them to the healthcare provider immediately. But if you've had your child vaccinated, you'll hear Patti and Alicia talk about their girls, and they had a sense of comfort because they knew their girls were vaccinated. They didn't know that their children had meningitis B. There was no meningitis B vaccine at that time. So that was the big difference. Now, when we see children in the hospital these days, okay, they've been vaccinated against meningitis B, they've been vaccinated against measles. So we're going to move those things down further on our our list of what the potentials are, and fewer devastating illnesses. All of the illnesses that we can protect children against with vaccines can potentially be devastating. And one of them that's at the top of the list, unfortunately, is bacterial meningitis.
Got it. How many times do you have to get the vaccine? Is it once, or do you have to get it every year like the flu? How often do we get it? Hey all, Jonathan from Go2 Health. Let me ask, how do you sustain your energy throughout the day? I try to do it with the morning cup of coffee and then one in the afternoon as a pick-me-up, and of course my daily vitamins. But what if I told you I was trying something new that's working for me just great? It provides me with sustained energy and focus, with caffeine for alertness, but balanced by amino acids and taurine to prevent jitters or crashes. It also has a blend of B vitamins, L-carnitine, and choline to power my energy and mental clarity, even if I didn't get the best night's sleep. It's also packed with vitamins A, C, and E to support my immune health, even with my days of packed schedules. And it's sugar-free and what I'll call flavor-forward. I alternate between 3 delicious flavors: mandarin orange, mango strawberry, and fruit punch. Just 1 small scoop of mix in 8 ounces of water and I'm done. Boom, off to the races. This formula boasts 32 years of brand expertise and thousands of 5-star reviews from millions of users. And it's a woman-owned company. What's this product I'm yakking about? It's called Spark Energy Plus Focus from Advocare. Spark Energy Plus Focus. For Go2Health listeners, I've scored 30% off and free shipping. Go to drinkspark.com and use code GO2Health at checkout. That's code GO2Health at drinkspark.com. Let's tackle the day together with Spark Energy Plus Focus.
Well, the meningitis vaccines last about 3 to 4 years. And that's why we give it at the ages where we do give them, because we look to see where the children are most at risk. Honestly, we haven't seen in the adolescent group any meningitis that's caused by A, C, W, or Y in years, because the children get the vaccine when they are 11 to 12 years of age, and then they get another dose after their 15th birthday. The one that we have seen is meningitis B. Meningitis B is the only meningitis that we've seen on the college campuses in over 10 years. So what this says to us is we need to be looking at getting these vaccines into these children. I wish we had more of them vaccinated. We do see a higher number who get the meningitis ACWY because many of the schools require that for 11 to 12-year-olds and then require it again when they're after the 15th birthday. Meningitis B is not mandatory. So some providers don't even bring it up because they figure, oh, it's not that common. I got so many other things to talk about. But if it's your child or my child, it's important. I would feel terrible if I didn't bring this up and discuss this with all of my families if I lost a child. What kind of a provider would I be? So I take that minute or two to say, hey, there's this meningitis B. We've given the meningitis, we've covered your child against these other strains. There's this other strain. And that's what the parents need to know, that their children are protected against all 5 strains, not just 4, but all 5 strains.
Okay. And you mentioned starting at 11. What happens? I usually think of vaccines happening when, kids are babies. And then why are people only susceptible to this when they're like at 11 years old?
Well, the reason why 11 years old is because we think babies are the only ones who put things in their mouths. Well, our adolescents put things in their mouths too. When they get to a little older, they start sharing things. They share gum. I saw kids in the mall once sharing a wad of chewing gum. We think they don't do stuff like that. They share forks and knives. They share food. They share water bottles. They share they share joints. They share lots of things. That sharing of saliva. Saliva is where this bacteria is found. They hug each other. They get in each other's faces. So that's why they are more at risk. And that's why the vaccine is geared towards that adolescent community.
Got it. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's very helpful advice. Alicia, first of all, I want to say how sorry I am for your loss. I know it's been a while, but I'm sure it's tough. And I have so much respect for the action that you took in starting this new organization called Meningitis Prevention. And it's just so we know, it's meningitisprevention.org. That's where you can go to learn more. So Alicia, tell us about Emily and why you became a vaccine advocate to educate other parents. Hey all, Jonathan from Go2 Health. Let me ask, how do you sustain your energy throughout the day? I try to do it with the morning cup of coffee and then one in the afternoon as a pick-me-up, and of course my daily vitamins. But what if I told you I was trying something new that's working for me just great? It provides me with sustained energy and focus, with caffeine for alertness, but balanced by amino acids and taurine to prevent jitters or crashes. It also has a blend of B vitamins, L-carnitine, and choline to power my energy and mental clarity, even if I didn't get the best night's sleep. It's also packed with vitamins A, C, and E to support my immune health, even with my days of packed schedules. And it's sugar-free and what I'll call flavor-forward. I alternate between 3 delicious flavors: mandarin orange, mango strawberry, and fruit punch. Just 1 small scoop of mix in 8 ounces of water and I'm done. Boom, off to the races. This formula boasts 32 years of brand expertise and thousands of 5-star reviews from millions of users. And it's a woman-owned company. What's this product I'm yakking about? It's called Spark Energy Plus Focus from Advocare. Spark Energy Plus Focus. For Go2Health listeners, I've scored 30% off and free shipping. Go to drinkspark.com and use code Go2Health at checkout. That's code Go2Health at drinkspark.com. Let's tackle the day together with Spark Energy Plus Focus.
With pleasure, Jonathan. I love to talk about Emily. Emily was 19 years old. She was my middle daughter. In 2013, she was a college sophomore at a small liberal arts college. She called home one night with a headache, just a headache. I thought perhaps she was coming down with the flu. She thought perhaps she was up all night studying the night before. She said, you know how I get when I get overtired. Yeah. We decided that she would take Motrin and go to bed. For Emily, the next morning never came because she woke up a few hours later and she said to her suite mates, my head really hurts. I think I should go to the hospital. But she walked into the hospital. She walked in with her backpack, her phone, her computer, a textbook. She walked in and they treated her simply for a headache. She had been vaccinated for bacterial meningitis. As Dr. Koslep-Petracco said, it was down on the list. She had been vaccinated with the ACWY vaccine at age 11 and then again before she went to college. As the evening became the next morning, her mood began to change. She was confused, even combative. And that's when they began to suspect bacterial meningitis. When I was contacted the next day, they had already prepared Emily for a craniotomy. The swelling in her brain was so severe that if she would survive, they said, the swelling would be so bad that the degree of brain damage would be just horrible. They wanted to lessen that.
Yeah. Oh.
When they told me she had bacterial meningitis, I remember saying, there's no way. She was vaccinated against bacterial meningitis.
Right.
They said, just get to the hospital and we'll explain everything. When I got to the hospital, she was already in surgery for her to have a craniotomy. She never woke up. I never got to see her eyes again. I never got to feel her hug me again. The swelling was so severe that it caused a brain death. And within 24 hours, 25 hours, Emily was brain dead. And I said goodbye to my daughter on a very, very cold February morning. And I said, you go, you be at peace. I'm going to figure this out. I didn't understand. I could hardly say the word meningococcal, let alone spell it. And I certainly didn't know that there were different serogroups. When I said goodbye, I said, I'm going to figure this out and I will make sure this doesn't happen in other families. I created the Emily Stillman Foundation in her memory to raise awareness for bacterial meningitis and also organ and tissue donation because we made the decision for my daughter to become a hero. In 2017, I partnered with Patti Wukovits on Long Island, New York, who had also created a foundation in memory of her daughter, Kimberly Coffey. She died while she was still living home. You see, this is not just a college disease. She was still living at home with her mom. And she also had been protected with a vaccine for A, C, W, and Y. But again, that was 2012, and the Men B vaccine was not yet licensed in the United States. We worked with the Meningitis B Action Project for several years, and we realized that the meningitis landscape is so confusing and so volatile. It's constantly changing in good ways where new vaccines are introduced and where the ACIP of the CDC are revisiting what the current recommendations are as we speak. And we knew that it couldn't just say the Meningitis B Action Project. It needed to be more all-encompassing. Right. And this year we rebranded as the American Society for Meningitis Prevention. Yes. And we do fabulous work all over the world that we're very proud of. We have a plethora of resources available on our website, meningitisprevention.org. Our unbranded resources are being utilized on college campuses, in hospital systems, in providers' offices. Our goal is to educate. Our goal is to empower the patients themselves, the adolescents and young adults, the parents, the healthcare providers, the school systems, the colleges, policymakers. We want to educate and empower everybody so that when you meet with your healthcare provider, you can be specific and you can ask the question, has my child or have I been protected against all 5 serogroups of preventable bacteria? It's very important because the protection is available now.
Hey all, Jonathan from Go2Health. Let me ask, how do you sustain your energy throughout the day? I try to do it with the morning cup of coffee and then one in the afternoon as a pick-me-up, and of course my daily vitamins. But what if I told you I was trying something new that's working for me just great? It provides me with sustained energy and focus, with caffeine for alertness but balanced by amino acids and taurine to prevent jitters or crashes. It also has a blend of B vitamins, L-carnitine, and choline to power my energy and mental clarity even if I didn't get the best night's sleep. It's also packed with vitamins A, C, and E to support my immune health, even with my days of packed schedules. And it's sugar-free and what I'll call flavor-forward. I alternate between 3 delicious flavors, mandarin orange, mango strawberry, and fruit punch. Just 1 small scoop of mix in 8 ounces of water and I'm done. Boom, off to the races. This formula boasts 32 years of brand expertise and thousands of 5-star reviews from millions of users. And it's a woman-owned company. What's this product I'm yakking about? It's called Spark Energy Plus Focus from Advocare. Spark Energy Plus Focus. For Go2Health listeners, I've scored 30% off and free shipping. Go to drinkspark.com and use code Go2Health at checkout. That's code Go2Health at drinkspark.com. Let's tackle the day together with Spark Energy Plus Focus.
And it wasn't available for me to protect my daughter, and it wasn't available to Patti to protect Kimberly. But it is now. And we just need everybody to understand and become empowered and ask for it when they meet with their provider.
Great. Thank you. Mary, let me ask a question. When a child does get vaccinated, are they automatically vaccinated for all 5 different types of virus or bacteria, or do you have to ask for all 5?
That's a terrific question. Unfortunately, you need to ask for all 5 because the regular meningitis vaccine that children get at 11 to 12 years of age, and then the one that Alicia's daughter Emily had, is the routine one. The meningitis B part is what we call shared decision making because it is a rare disease and it's expensive vaccine. We as healthcare providers are expected to talk to parents, to tell them about meningitis B, tell them what the risks are, and then between the parent and the provider, the decision is made whether or not to get the meningitis B vaccine.
Okay.
Honest to goodness, after I get finished talking with parents, I haven't had a parent yet who's refused the meningitis B vaccine. But it's not something that is just an automatic. It's something that either the provider has to bring up or the parent has to bring up. And like Alicia mentioned to you, the purpose of her organization is to educate both providers and parents so that nobody falls through the cracks. I see patients myself, you have so much stuff to cover in a short amount of time. You don't want to miss anything. And it's like, oh, is this the really most important thing I need to talk about? Because not a whole lot of kids are going to get this.
Right.
No, but if it's your child or my child, it's a lot of children. So if the provider forgets or doesn't bring it up, then the parent needs to be educated to ask for it. It's really an important thing to do. I mean, as a provider, I would feel terrible if, God forbid, a child I was caring for came down with meningitis B and I didn't discuss it with the parent and offer it. So again, it's tough. It's tough out there being a provider, a healthcare provider taking care of children. You got a lot of stuff. You got a lot of ground to cover. Yes. But if there's something slips through the cracks, the parent needs to be the advocate for the child and say, I want my child protected against all 5 strains. Yes. That's the message. I want my child protected against all 5 strains.
Is that just one injection or is it 5 injections? I mean, are they all combined in one injection?
Well, we have different formulations, and that can be very confusing for parents. Alicia, before I go on, did you want to add something?
I just wanted to add, because Dr. Kessler-Petracco made the comment that it is expensive, and it is. To me, it's worth its weight in gold. But it is covered under VFC, Vaccines for Children, and all private insurance companies. So I just wanted to clarify that too, that it's not an out-of-pocket vaccine.
Yeah. So let me ask a question, particularly for you, Alicia, and what you tell parents, because I know there can be a lot of hesitation about vaccines and are they effective? Do they have side effects? We've been through all that. What do you tell parents who are, concerned about or reluctant to get their kids vaccinated in different ways? What do you say?
I would give anything in the world for my daughter to still be here. I couldn't protect my daughter against all 5 serogroups. Yes. You can. That's what I tell parents. It's really important.
Good. That's good enough, is just get vaccinated. Don't take the risk. Yes. Yeah. And this comes on, what's amazing is this comes on so suddenly. That's really the scary thing about it. That, you talked about your daughter, just being at college and, just getting sick overnight and then having to go to the hospital and passing.
And oftentimes, it comes on so suddenly, and quite often it's misdiagnosed because, a college student, for example, may think that they have a hangover. Yes. It might be, all those things are not, all these symptoms are not present at the same time in all cases. But my Emily just had a headache. She did not run a fever. Mm-hmm. Patti's daughter did run a fever. She started to develop the rash. Yes. So not all symptoms are the same, and not all symptoms are present at all times. So it is important. Even if a young person has been vaccinated, it is important to be aware of the symptoms and be aware of the risks.
Mary, is there a way for doctors or clinicians to tell that this is meningitis early on so that they don't misdiagnose or miss something?
I wish there was, but the only way to make the definitive diagnosis is with the cultures. And but like Alicia mentioned to you, how quickly the symptoms progress.
Yes.
If you start seeing some real fast progression like this, don't wait. You've got to get to the hospital as quickly as possible. But the bottom line for us is education, that it's prevention. It's so much better to prevent this than to have to treat it. And when I mentioned because insurance companies balk at paying for expensive vaccines to prevent a few cases a year. And that's from my perspective as a public health nurse, with the cost of the vaccines. Yes, it's covered, but we don't want the insurance companies to turn around and say, oh, there's not a whole lot of people getting this, so we're not going to pay for it anymore. I don't ever want to see that happen. The bottom line is prevention is the best way to avoid this illness, and making sure that your child, the prevention includes all 5 serotypes, because yes, no vaccine is 100% effective, but if your child's been vaccinated, there's much less chance that your child is going to suffer from this devastating disease.
Got it. And so the major form of prevention is vaccination. It's not changing your child's behavior.
You asked before about how many doses.
Hey all, Jonathan from Go To Health. Let me ask, how do you sustain your energy throughout the day? I try to do it with the morning cup of coffee and then one in the afternoon as a pick-me-up, and of course my daily vitamins. But what if I told you I was trying something new that's working for me just great? It provides me with sustained energy and focus, with caffeine for alertness, but balanced by amino acids and taurine to prevent jitters or crashes. It also has a blend of B vitamins, L-carnitine, and choline to power my energy and mental clarity, even if I didn't get the best night's sleep. It's also packed with vitamins A, C, and E to support my immune health, even with my days of packed schedules. And it's sugar-free and what I'll call flavor-forward. I alternate between 3 delicious flavors: mandarin orange, mango strawberry, and fruit punch. Just 1 small scoop of mix in 8 ounces of water and I'm done. Boom, off to the races. This formula boasts 32 years of brand expertise and thousands of 5-star reviews from millions of users. And it's a woman-owned company. What's this product I'm yakking about? It's called Spark Energy Plus Focus from Advocare. Spark Energy Plus Focus. For Go to Health listeners, I've scored 30% off and free shipping. Go to drinkspark.com and use code GOTOHEALTH at checkout. That's code GOTOHEALTH at drinkspark.com. Let's tackle the day together with Spark Energy Plus Focus.
You asked before, but I think that can be confusing for parents. All of the vaccines take several doses in order to get. It depends on which brand you use, which vaccine you're using, whether it's 1 dose or 2 doses, whether or not you need to get the vaccine again because you're still at risk. These are all questions that you could discuss with your provider. And like I said, it can be very confusing for parents. The message that we need to get to parents is protect your child against all 5 serotypes. Have that conversation with your healthcare provider.
Wonderful. Thank you. I really appreciate this message. Is there any particular time of year that this happens, or can it happen any time of year? I know, the flu we usually think of in the fall, but is this a year-round kind of thing? Or
Unfortunately, it's year-round.
Year-round. Okay, good. All right. Thank you so much for this information. We will get this out to as many people as possible. Again, we've been talking with Alicia Stillman, who co-founded the American Society for Meningitis Prevention. Tell us the website again.
meningitisprevention.org.
Got it. Great. So Alicia Stillman and also Dr. Mary Koslep-Petreco. She's a member of the Medical Council of the American Society for Meningitis Prevention. She's also a clinical assistant professor at Stony Brook University. Thanks so much for being with us both today. God bless you in your work, and let's keep all our kids safe.
Thank you, Jonathan.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yes, my pleasure to be with you. And as we say at the end of every show, go to health. Take care. We'll see you again next time. Bye. Thank you for tuning in this week to Go to Health Media. Be sure to join Jonathan Marks and another health expert next time. You can also catch the program on your favorite podcast platform. Until our next show, be sure to visit us on the web at gotohealthmedia.com and elevate your life.